All right, welcome along. My name's Bosh. This is Bosh's Ableton Beginner Bits. And today we're going to be taking a look at trying, emphasise this word, trying to replicate a bass guitar sound using the plugins that are already in Ableton. Now, I mentioned emphasising the trying because I feel like someone will go, your MIDI instruments are never going to sound, they'll never sound like a real bass guitar. Yeah, they won't. I know they won't, but we're going to try and get close. We're going to have a go at recreating it with things that exist in Ableton Live already. I am using Live 11 and I have downloaded all the packs from Ableton's website, so that's what we're dealing with. Now, before we start, I want to promote buymeacoffee.com/BoshDubs. You can go there and you can support the channel by sending the amount of money that it costs to buy a coffee. That's the general gist of it. You can also support on YouTube, but they take a larger cut, so I tend to not push that one as much. And otherwise, the best way you can support this channel is by subscribing, by watching the videos, sharing the videos, and commenting. Please get in the comments. Ask me any questions, video requests, anything like that. I'm always up for doing. I'm also going to start a Patreon soon. So get in the comments and let me know what kind of things you might want on a Patreon or any kind of subscription service where I can give you lessons and all that kind of business. It's underway. I'm still working on it. Anyway, without further ado, let's go trying to recreate a bass guitar sound using Ableton Live. So what I've done, I've built a basic rhythm. It's drums, it's piano, and it's bass line. I didn't want to spend time writing the bass line, so I thought if I write one beforehand, and then we can get straight into the making the sounds. I'm going to do this in two different ways. One way, I'm going to use the existing guitar presets in Ableton, and the second way, I'm going to use Operator and just try and synthesize a bass, or something that sounds kind of in that direction. So let's get into it. The first one I'm going to do is the guitar. Now, I've already dragged in guitar open and guitar mute. Now you can just go to your instruments section in Ableton, type in guitar, and then it's in the instrument rack and guitar unplugged. We've got guitar open, guitar mute. Let me just see what plucker sounds like. Plucker could be used, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna. Yeah, guitar and guitar open sound similar. So I'm going to use guitar open and guitar mute to replicate this. Now, as you can probably imagine, we're going to be taking these down into the lower octave. But if I try and record now with this guitar open, all right, we want to go lower. It stops, right? There's no more samples. So the first thing we need to do once we've dragged guitar open in is go to the zone tab here, open it up. Let's drag this up and let's make it so we can see what's going on. Now have a look here. It's pretty visually easy to see what is happening. We've got no notes past C1 there. There's nothing left. So all we need to do is drag all these across down to this lower octave so that the samples are then covering that space. Now, the reason, I've looked into this just before I started doing the video, and I thought maybe you could get away with just expanding one of them, but it turns out these are all set up to hit at different velocities, so the easiest way is just to expand all of them. So what I'll do, I'm just going to click on the right-hand side of this where the little thing appears there, the little brackets, and I'm going to drag it all the way down to the bottom. I'm going to do this with every single one here. All right, now if I scroll down here, what am I doing? Yeah, if I scroll down here, you'll see how all these notes are covered by 5 samples each. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. 6 samples on each note. So it's got different samples built in there for different velocities and stuff. So it's already a bit more realistic sounding. All the way down to the bottom. Let's have a look. Loads of samples in here. And then it stops up top here. And then for some reason, there's a random one there. I don't know why that's there. So let's scroll back down, loads of samples there, but we've filled this space at the bottom. Now, if I play these notes here, we're getting into that bass register, which is good. That's what we want. Now I'm going to do the same with the mute. So we're going to double click on the guitar mute, open the zone tab, and then do the same thing. Drag these 4 all the way down to the bottom. And let's just minimize the zone now. Yeah. So we've got the open, and we've got the mute. Okay, now that's pretty much all we need to do in regards to editing and changing the sound at the moment. The next thing I'm going to do is take my bass line, which sounds like this. And in context with the rhythm that I've built around it, it sounds like this. All right, so what I'm going to do is take the sub here, hold Control and drag it over here. Now when you hold Control, it basically causes duplication to happen. So I'm going to hold Control, I'm going to let go, and we've got a copy. Let's do it again. Click on sub 1, hold Control down. I think on Mac it's function, is it? I don't know what it is on Mac. I don't know. Hold Control, click, drag, and drop. Now let's listen to both of these on their own. Didn't mean to do that. Let's listen to both of these on their own without the sub bass. All right, so it just sounds like a low guitar at the moment. Let's see what we can do. Let's see if these can go any lower. Let's see if the octave down helps at all. It might not, but we try these things. Yeah, okay, so it's not great, but we can work on it. We can make it a little bit better. So the first thing I want to do is sort out any weird sounding gaps. Oh, don't want to select it all though. So we need to sound out weird sounding gaps. Even that is a bit. Let's straighten this up, put this here. I'm just going to do a little bit of editing. I might speed this up. I might not talk in this bit and speed it up just to show you, because it can be a fiddly process sometimes. All right, so let's pair this with the bass now. Hang on a sec, I just need to do it this way. Okay, so it still sounds a bit as non-human as it's going to sound. So I'm going to duplicate this over to the guitar mute track so that now the details where I've lengthened certain notes are on the mute channel as well. And then what I'm going to do is any long notes I'm going to leave in the guitar open track, and any short notes I'm going to leave in the guitar mute track. And let's see how that sounds. So open, we need to leave the open ones. I'm going to hold shift and go along and select these and leave that there. So we do that, and then we're going to do the opposite in this one. So we're going to leave all the little short notes in there. Let's take these out, take that out, that and that. And now let's play these together and see what this sounds like. So, let's see what I want to do. Let's drag. I've taken this sub bass and I've put it back over to the mute channel. Let's just play the mute channel by itself, because I think that sounds better. Yeah. Okay, sack off the open one. Let's just get rid of it because it sounds gash. And now all you need to do is mix it to taste. So what I do... Jesus, I need to sort that microphone thing out badly. Solo that. Right, we're good. So now I'm just going to mix. I'm going to leave the sub bass. Let's turn it up a little bit in my headphones, just so I can get an idea. There we go. And then I'm going to slowly pump up the muted guitar. I'm going to pull my sub down just a little bit so I've got more room for the thing. 'Cause if you look, it's topping out. Let me just expand this so you can see. So this is topping out at the top of the thing. So I'm going to move the bass line, the sub, down by 1. Just to give me a little more room to make the bass line louder. Now that for me is a nice mix point where the muted guitar doesn't sound too separate from the bass. It sounds like there could be one thing. Let's play the tune. Now you can do a few things to change how this sounds. Let's try a little EQ in. So all I'm going to do is solo this. Get an EQ. Where's EQ8? What am I doing? Audio effects. Right, so first thing I'm going to do is cut out the bottom end. But I don't want to leave just really picky top sound. I want a bit of the mid and mid-low sort of area so it blends into that sub. So it sounds like one thing. So I just want to cut to about there just to take the mud out. And then what I'm going to do is get this, set it to a low pass filter, and then just edge it in and just take a little bit more top end off. Let's do an extreme one first. Yeah, it's just that little... Ooh, yeah. Let's get rid of the piano now. And so this now needs to come up a bit because we've taken some of the top, and the top is what came through and made it louder. We've taken some of that off, so now I need to make it louder. All right. I'm going to leave that there. I'm going to stop playing with it there. So that's the first method. I'd ignore the open guitar. It doesn't sound great as a bass, but the muted guitar sounds like a real nice bass. I think that's a pretty good method. I think you'd get pretty far with getting away with that. What I would do from here is go in a bit like I did on the open one and edit the notes. Make them, so it just sounds a bit smoother. Listen to it looped round, and anytime you hear a bit that makes you think that's not real, go in, edit it, make it longer, make it fit, whatever you need to do to it to just make it sound a bit smoother and a bit more like a real bass player. Because unless they're doing specifically a picking style, it's not often the bass player is going to be like sort of, hitting every note really short. It'll be boom, 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 boom. Like it's all going to connect. So the best way is to try and make it connect and make it sound like that. So that's method 1. All right, let's do method 2. So we're going to use the same bass line. Same method. Let's delete this. Copy the sub bass. Control and click. Copy that over there. Let's minimize this guitar mute tracks just so we don't get mixed up. All right. So the operator, we're gonna simulate a similar kind of sound with this operator here. At the moment, they're both playing sub. Yeah, same sub line. I'm gonna make what is essentially a pluck or a donk kind of sound, and then you'll see where we get to in a second. I'm going to create the pluck first. I'm going to create a little bit of sustain on the note as well, so it could sound like a bit like the muted guitar sound. It's dull, but it's still got some sort of presence to it. Let's get rid of my drums for now. Just bass. And I'm going to start crafting. So the first thing I need to do is make this a little plucky. So we're going to take the decay and drag it down. Now the thing is, I don't want this bit to be too plucky. Yeah, that's too much. Or too little even. It's just got a bit of bounce to it. Boom. Yeah, so that's a good point there. Now we're going to drag in the next oscillator, oscillator B. Let's turn it right up. Notice how this is already set for a little bit of a pluck. Too much. All right, so you can see how that's too much. So what I want to do first is make it so the sound itself. Yeah. And then what I'm going to do is drag the decay down again, but I'm going to leave some of it in. And then we're going to turn the volume up a little bit. Now I might take just a smidge of that attack away. We're getting there. Now I'm going to try and see what happens when I add the third oscillator. Let's turn this fully up so the sound is fully there. And let's just add a little bit and just see what it does to the tone. Yeah. Let's put it all the way on. Yeah, too much. But if we get it back down to like -28. Alright, something like that. That's the core of what I would do with that sound. You go in and tweak it further and everything. Let's see what happens when we add another oscillator. Yeah, see, now you're getting to that point that we started EQing out that top end, so it's a bit too much, is that? I might maybe a smidge. Let me put it to -20 and see. -25. -30. Now notice that all the coarse tunings are set to the same, they're all set to 1. Let's see what happens when I put one of these to 2. You're starting to get more top end, it's moving that octave up a little bit. Let's try 3. So still kind of reasonable, but you're getting into it is starting to sound a bit more Toy Towny. Let's get rid of these. Yeah, so you do start, once you start upping the tuning on some of the oscillators, you start to get a bit more like Toy Town sounding. So let's put that down, let's put these back in. Let's try changing the course on this one. Ooh, okay. That's just adding you a bit more plucky sound. Now what I might do is try and build it up to the level of the mute one and then EQ it again. See, that's too much. That sounds like a double bass. Let's try about this one. Yeah, so you can play around with changing these. I like them all on 1 or maybe 2 for this one. Alright, let's listen to the whole thing. That's with the sub. Now what I'm going to do, let's up the volume a bit so it's hitting near the top of the thing. Nope, too high. If we get this yellow, that's not good. Orange, whatever it is, I don't know what colour that is, I'm colourblind. So let's EQ. Take just the sub out. Yeah, I'm going to put this octave back down. Let's put the sub back in. Now again, I can mix. Let's do the volume on the EQ. All right. The next thing you could do is you could maybe start using the amp and the cabinet settings and maybe trying to make it sound like it's being recorded through a mic, like a mic'd up amp. That could work. Shall we have a go? Let's have a little go now. All right, so we just soloed the operator bass line, and what did I say we're going to do? Let's do amp and cabinet. Let's put an amp on there, and then a cabinet. We're going to put this on clean. Right, let's hear the amp. Let's go through and hear it properly. So this is on its own with no sub. Let's put the amp on. I like that. Now, before I turn the cabinet on, I'm going to change the speaker type, and I'm going to change it to 212, just because I feel like a lot of bass guitar amps, I've seen more bass guitar amps that are bigger with multiple speakers rather than one big speaker. I could be wrong. So I'm going to change this to 2x12 purely on an idea that I have. That's not a rule. This is just something I've thought, that I've seen a lot more bass cabs, like bass guitar cabs, that have been multiple speakers. I could be wrong. Near on axis is sound, mono, dry, wet, cool. Right, let's listen to the difference when I put cabinet on. So this is without. And then with. All right, let's put that with the sub. This might be it, you know what I mean? I'm going to stop there. You could do the amp cabinet trick with the mute guitar as well. Don't see why not. That should work. Give it a try. I'm going to let you guys do that. And I'm going to leave it there. Please go to buymeacoffee.com/BoshDubs. Please subscribe, share, like, comment, and watch as much as you can. It all helps. My name's Bosh. This has been Bosh's Ableton Beginner Bits, recreating bass guitar, and I will see you next time. Ciao.